An historic interview hours ago, President Obama speaking exclusively to ABC's Robin Roberts and announcing something no U.S. president has ever said, that he supports same-sex marriage. For years, he only endorsed civil unions, claiming his position on the polarizing question of marriage was still, quote, evolving. Then last weekend, Vice President Biden surprised everyone by seeming to endorse gay marriage. And today, the president himself told Robin how and why his own thinking has changed.
Mr. President, are you still opposed to same-sex marriage?
I've always been adamant that gay and lesbian Americans should be treated fairly and equally. And I was sensitive to the fact that for a lot of people, the word marriage was something that evokes very powerful traditions, religious beliefs, and so forth. But I have to tell you that over the course of several years, as I talk to friends and family and neighbors, when I think about members of my own staff who are in incredibly committed monogamous relationships, same-sex relationships, who are raising kids together, when I think about those soldiers or airmen or Marines or sailors who are out there fighting on my behalf and yet feel constrained, even now that Don't Ask, Don't Tell is gone, because they're not able to commit themselves in a marriage. At a certain point, I've just concluded that for me personally, it is important for me to go ahead and affirm that I think same-sex couples should be able to get married. It's interesting. Some of this is also generational. Malia and Sasha, they've got friends whose parents are same-sex couples. There have been times where Michelle and I have been sitting around the dinner table and we've been talking and about their friends and their parents. And Malia and Sasha, it wouldn't dawn on them that somehow their friends' parents would be treated differently. It doesn't make sense to them. And frankly, that's the kind of thing that prompts a change of perspective.
Did you discuss this with Mrs. Obama, the same-sex marriage issue? Was
I
that
did.
something?
No, this is something that we've talked about over the years, and she feels the same way that I do. And that is that in the end, the values that I care most deeply about and she cares most deeply about is how we treat other people. We're both practicing Christians, and obviously this position may be considered to put us at odds with the views of others, but when we think about our faith, the thing at root that we think about is not only Christ sacrificing himself on our behalf, but it's also the golden rule. Treat others the way you want to be treated.
It is a riveting interview, Robin. I wondered about Vice President Biden. Everybody presumed that Vice President Biden had forced the president's hand. Did he talk about him?
I did ask him about that, Diane, and the president had a big smile on his face when I brought up Joe Biden's name and said that it was an authentic response by the vice president when he said he was absolutely comfortable with same-sex marriage. And the president indicated that this was a discussion that they have been having and that they would have had perhaps prior to the election, and the vice president may have had just a hand in jumping the gun just a little bit.
As everyone says, Biden will be Biden, right?
The president said that himself, yes.
All right, Robin. Well, as we said, this is a historic cultural and political event in this country. And head on back to New York. Great interview.
Will do.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Tonight, several developing stories as we come on the air. Flood watches and winter weather alerts in the west. Multiple states from the south to the mid-Atlantic now bracing for severe storms, possibly tornadoes. A mass shooting in Indiana, 7 victims, the youngest just 12 years old. And what you need to know about the serious AT&T data breach. But first, the storm in the west, more than 20 million under flood watches, cars spinning out, part of a major coastal highway washed away, more than a foot of snow falling in the mountains, and the nation's heartland now faces a severe weather threat to start the week. Our weather team times it all out. Also tonight, 7 children shot outside a mall in Indianapolis, the victims ranging in age from 12 to 17.
I need 4 medics right now.
Police plead with parents to keep their kids out of trouble as they search for a suspect. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu undergoes surgery at a critical moment. His government facing mounting protests with more than 100 Israeli hostages still held in Gaza. A key member of the Super Bowl champions, one